Examining what's really in the water at one local apartment community, we want to warn you the results we have may disturb you. We're going to share what was found in these Petri dishes when we had the water tested. This is an update to a News4JAX I-TEAM investigation of complaints from people living in an apartment complex in Arlington.
We took water samples from 2 tenants' apartments to an independent laboratory for analysis. They came from the Red Bay Apartments off the Arlington Expressway, just east of Arlington Road. The results are potentially unhealthy, according to a local professor who says huge amounts of bacteria typically found in the intestines are the likely culprit found in this water. Tarek Miner is joining us now. Tarek, that professor told you the bacteria is likely to blame for the awful smell coming from one tenant's dishwasher and the water lines of another tenant.
Yeah, it is called enteric bacteria, and it exists in the intestines of animals and humans. And according to a UNF professor of biology, he thinks that is what is in the water that we sampled from 2 tenants. Now, I'm not going to open up these 2 Petri dishes because they literally reek. We are going to give you a closer look at the bacteria. Take a look at the contents of these Petri dishes. These are colonies of bacteria which all grew within 24 hours. The growth so exponential, the professor told us some of the bacteria is actually growing on top of each other in what is called different elevations. It's all from water that we bottled up from a disabled veteran's dishwasher and from his neighbor's apartment.
From that little tiny amount of water that I put on these Petri dishes, after 24 hours of incubation, I noticed a vast amount of bacteria.
Even University of North Florida professor of biology Dale Casamata was surprised at just how much bacteria grew from just half a drop of water we sampled from Andrew Hurst's dishwasher. It's water I smelled myself inside Hurst's kitchen.
I smell it.
Yeah, right? Isn't that terrible?
It smells like
it's like
poop, or it's like a sulfur.
Hurst contacted the News4JAX I-TEAM about numerous complaints about the living conditions at the Red Bay apartment complex. He feels the conditions are unsanitary, and he and his partner have been feeling sick.
We've been feeling nauseous. We've had all kinds of nasty headaches. Our eyes are all watery.
Professor Casamata had this to say about what's likely in the water.
And those bacteria are absolutely flourishing, and that's why it smells pretty bad. The enteric bacteria are those bacteria associated with our colon and our lower GI system. So normally they're very helpful. They help us break down materials, they help us regenerate water. Those same bacteria, if you re-ingest them as they travel through our body to get down to those positions, they can be very problematic for us. E. coli in your colon, for example, is not a big deal. E. coli in your stomach or other places can be very problematic.
When you say enteric bacteria, the possibility that it could be fecal.
Yes, entirely likely. Because enteric bacteria are the things that make up feces, for example.
Casamata did a separate analysis of the water that flooded tenant Nina Grote's apartment more than a dozen times, she says, over the past year.
I have a mold, mildew. There's a major leak. When I say it's leak, my kid bathroom.
The floodwaters actually had even more substantial kind of growth, but more of a diversity of growth as well. And I could tell that by looking at the colonies. I see that they're different elevations and such, and in fact are actually growing on top of themselves. So there's actually even much more bacteria in that situation.
Grote showed us her shoes that got wet. Notice the bacteria growing on top. She says the water has irritated her children's skin. Could this water cause skin irritations?
To
your body?
Yes, indeed.
Both tenants say they are disgusted by the laboratory results.
I was rattled. That's disturbing. You know, we've been washing our dishes and this stuff, and everything comes out smelling weird. So we have to go and hand wash everything because it comes out smelling disgusting. Now we know why.
It just break my spirit down, you know, because I've been prayed also. I can't say much, yeah. It's just like my eyes, you know, it's no longer the same. I'm having hard time reading, and then, you know, and I have a constant allergy.
Now, News4JAX has learned that the Jacksonville Office of Code Compliance is planning on inspecting several units at the Red Bay apartment complex next week and will be conducting their own tests of the water. The News4JAX I-TEAM also submitted water samples from both Andrew Hurst's tap water and water from his shower. We hope to have our own independent results from the laboratory on those next week.
Tarek, after your initial story earlier this week, tenants told you that the property management did take some action.
Yeah, they have been very responsive. SAR Property Management is working to remedy the problem and relocate both Andrew Hurst and the other tenant, Nina Grote. Now, Grote is being moved to another unit within the complex, and the CEO of the company, I'm told, personally called Hurst, offering accommodations for him to stay at a hotel over the weekend. Also, in a statement they gave us earlier this week, they did say that they recently had some issues with squatters and that it's affected their ability to maintain their usual level of service, and they're also developing a plumbing renovation plan to address any underlying issues that may be there. Now, we have posted their full statement to this story inside our story on News4JAX.com.
It'll be very interesting to see those independent results when they get back next week.
A lot more to come.
Be looking for that.